In the last few months, something has shifted dramatically on the battlefields of Ukraine. Russian casualty figures are climbing at a pace that military analysts are calling unprecedented in modern conventional warfare. We're not talking about minor fluctuations on a battlefield map. We're talking about thousands of soldiers lost per week, equipment destroyed faster than it can be replaced, and a military machine that once terrified NATO strategists now visibly grinding itself into the Ukrainian soil. The question everyone is asking is, what exactly is doing this, and why is it happening at such a staggering rate right now? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand the full picture. The weapons, the tactics, the battlefield conditions, and the strategic decisions that have combined to create what military historians may one day describe as one of the most costly military campaigns in post-World War II history. If you're new here, we cover global conflicts, military strategy, and geopolitical developments with depth and accuracy. Today's topic is one of the most critical ongoing stories in international security, the war in Ukraine, and specifically, why Russian forces are sustaining losses at a record pace. Now, before we get into this, let's be absolutely clear about something. War is a human tragedy. Every casualty figure represents a real person, a son, a father, a brother. This video is not about glorifying death. It is about understanding the military, strategic, and technological realities that are shaping one of the most consequential conflicts of the 21st century. With that said, let's get into it. The numbers that are shocking military analysts. Let's start with the raw data, because the numbers themselves tell a story. According to the Ukrainian General Staff, which publishes daily casualty updates, Russian forces have been losing between 1,000 and 1,500 personnel per day at peak periods of fighting. The United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense, which publishes independent battlefield intelligence updates, has corroborated elevated Russian loss rates on multiple occasions. Even conservative Western estimates place total Russian personnel casualties, killed, wounded, captured, and missing, well above 600,000 since the full-scale invasion began in February 2022. To put that in historical context, the Soviet Union lost approximately 15,000 soldiers over 9 years in Afghanistan. Russia is absorbing comparable losses in fractions of that time. Something has fundamentally changed on this battlefield, and it is not one single factor. It is a convergence of several simultaneous developments that have turned the front lines into an extraordinarily lethal environment for Russian forces. The drone revolution that nobody fully anticipated. The single most transformative factor in Ukraine's ability to inflict casualties at record pace is the drone war, and specifically, the FPV drone. FPV stands for first-person view. These are small, fast, highly maneuverable drones that are flown by operators wearing goggles that give them a pilot's eye view of the drone in real time. They are fitted with explosives, typically warheads stripped from rocket-propelled grenades, and they are flown directly into targets: soldiers, vehicles, artillery pieces, supply lines. What makes FPV drones so devastatingly effective is the combination of low cost, high precision, and mass deployment. A single FPV drone costs anywhere between $400 and $800 to produce. Ukraine is now manufacturing and deploying these at a scale of hundreds of thousands per year. Every infantry unit on the front line has drone operators embedded within it. Every tree line, every trench, every road crossing, and every open field is now under constant aerial surveillance and potential strike capability. Russian soldiers on the front lines have described the psychological and physical toll as unlike anything in their military experience. There is essentially no safe moment in the open. Moving from one position to another, receiving supplies, evacuating the wounded, all of these basic military activities now carry an extreme risk of drone interception. The drone has effectively eliminated what military planners call tactical freedom of movement for Russian forces in most contested areas. Ukraine has also deployed maritime drones, known as Sea Baby USVs, with remarkable effectiveness against the Russian Black Sea Fleet. These drone boats have struck and sunk or damaged a significant portion of Russia's Black Sea naval assets, including landing ships and even a submarine, forcing Russia to relocate much of its fleet away from Crimea. This has had cascading strategic consequences, including Ukraine's ability to export grain and resume economic shipping lanes. Artillery. The king of the battlefield is still reigning. While drones get the headlines, artillery remains the primary killer on this battlefield. The vast majority of all casualties in conventional warfare are inflicted by artillery, and Ukraine has received an extraordinary arsenal of Western artillery systems that have dramatically outranged and outperformed older Soviet-era equipment. The M777 howitzer, the Polish Krab, the French Caesar, the German PZH-2000, these systems brought NATO standard precision and range to the Ukrainian military. The introduction of HIMARS, the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, was perhaps the single most impactful Western military decision of the early conflict. HIMARS fires precision GPS-guided rockets at ranges exceeding 80 kilometers, and it has been used to systematically destroy Russian ammunition depots, command posts, logistics hubs, and troop concentrations far behind the front line. Russia's response to HIMARS has been to disperse its ammunition storage further from the front, which in turn has created its own logistical nightmares. It takes longer to move ammunition to the guns, which slows the rate of fire, which reduces Russia's ability to suppress Ukrainian positions during assaults. It is a cascading effect that began with a single weapon system. More recently, the introduction of longer-range missiles, including the British Storm Shadow and French Scalp cruise missiles, has pushed Russia's logistics and command infrastructure even further back, compressing the space within which Russia can safely operate. The failure of Russian tactics and the human cost of meat assaults. One of the most striking and frankly disturbing elements of this conflict has been Russia's repeated use of what battlefield observers and Ukrainian soldiers have termed meat assaults, mass infantry attacks with little to no armored support, conducted in waves, with the apparent expectation that sheer numbers will overwhelm Ukrainian defensive positions. These tactics have resulted in catastrophic Russian losses. In sectors like Avdiivka, Bakhmut, Vuhledar, and more recently, Pokrovsk and Kurakhov, Russian infantry units have been sent forward in groups, often without adequate reconnaissance, fire support, or coordination, directly into prepared Ukrainian defensive lines equipped with drones, mines, and interlocking fields of fire. Military analysts have pointed to several reasons why Russia continues to employ these tactics despite their staggering human cost. First, Russia has a manpower model that prioritizes replacement over quality. Mobilized men are given minimal training and sent to the front as quickly as possible. This results in poorly trained soldiers making predictable tactical decisions that Ukrainian defenders can exploit. Second, Russian military culture at the command level has historically rewarded the capture of territorial objectives regardless of cost, meaning commanders continue to order frontal assaults even when those assaults are visibly failing. The result is that Russia is burning through its mobilized manpower at an extraordinary rate. According to multiple Western intelligence assessments, Russia is recruiting approximately 25,000 to 30,000 new soldiers per month just to maintain its current force levels, a figure that itself speaks to the scale of attrition it is absorbing. Mines, the silent equalizer. One of the least discussed but most consequential elements of this conflict is the extensive use of landmines and anti-vehicle mines across the Ukrainian theater of war. Ukraine has laid one of the most extensive minefields in modern military history along its defensive lines, and these mines have had a devastating effect on Russian armored and mechanized assaults. During Russia's large-scale armor offensives in the early phases of the war, and again during attempted breakthroughs in subsequent periods, armored columns ran directly into minefields that immobilized lead vehicles, caused follow-on vehicles to bunch up, and made the entire formation a target for Ukrainian artillery and drones. The combination of mines, drones, and artillery has made Russian armored assault practically suicidal in well-defended sectors. The use of anti-personnel mines has also significantly complicated Russian infantry movements, particularly at night, and has contributed to a substantial portion of the overall casualty figures. This is a deeply uncomfortable dimension of the conflict because mines continue to kill and maim long after the fighting moves elsewhere. But as a military instrument in the hands of a defending force, they have proven extraordinarily effective. Electronic warfare, the invisible battle. Alongside the physical battlefield, there is an electronic battlefield that is equally fierce and equally consequential. Electronic warfare, the use of systems that jam, spoof, intercept, or disrupt enemy communications and sensor systems, has been a defining feature of this conflict. Both sides have invested heavily in electronic warfare capabilities, but Ukraine has received significant Western assistance in this domain. GPS jamming, drone signal disruption, and communication intercepts have all played important roles. Ukraine's ability to intercept Russian military communications has provided tactical intelligence that has directly contributed to targeting decisions, allowing Ukrainian forces to strike Russian command gatherings, logistics meetings, and troop concentrations with remarkable precision. Russia has also used electronic warfare to disrupt Ukrainian drones, and there is a constant back-and-forth technological adaptation between the two sides. Ukraine has responded to Russian jamming by developing fiber-optic guided drones that cannot be jammed at all. The guidance signal runs through a physical wire, making electronic countermeasures irrelevant. This innovation has already begun appearing on the battlefield and represents the next evolution in drone warfare. The strategic picture, attrition, is working. Stepping back from the tactical details, it is important to understand the broader strategic context. Ukraine's stated and actual military strategy has evolved significantly over the course of the conflict. After initial defensive success and the liberation of significant territory in 2022, Ukraine found that large-scale offensive operations against prepared Russian positions were extremely costly and difficult. The strategy that has emerged partly by design and partly by necessity, is a grinding war of attrition focused on destroying Russian combat power faster than it can be regenerated. Every soldier killed, every tank destroyed, every ammunition depot blown up, and every command post eliminated degrades Russia's ability to sustain offensive operations and ultimately to hold the territory it has seized. Western military analysts, including those at the Royal United Services Institute and the Institute for the Study of War, have noted that Russia's military-industrial capacity, while significant, is under enormous strain. Sanctions have limited Russia's access to critical semiconductors and precision manufacturing components. Tank production, while accelerated, relies heavily on refurbishing older Soviet-era stocks. Artillery barrel burnout rates are extremely high, and replacement is becoming a visible constraint on Russian fire missions. The combination of battlefield attrition and economic industrial pressure is designed to reach a breaking point, a moment when Russia's ability to sustain its current level of military operations collapses faster than political decisions can reverse it. So, what is obliterating Russian troops at a record pace in Ukraine? It is not one single weapon or one single tactic. It is a convergence. FPV drones deployed in industrial quantities, precision Western artillery systems, HIMARS and cruise missiles disrupting logistics, extensive minefields neutralizing armored assault, electronic warfare providing intelligence advantages, and the catastrophic human cost of mass infantry tactics against prepared defenses. The battlefield of Ukraine in 2024 and 2025 has become one of the most lethal environments for conventional military forces ever recorded in modern warfare. The lessons being learned here about drone warfare, about electronic warfare, about the limits of mass manpower without quality training are already reshaping military doctrine in capitals around the world. What happens next depends on political will, industrial capacity, and the decisions made in Washington, Brussels, Moscow, and Kyiv. But on the battlefield itself, the data tells a clear and sobering story. The cost of this war for Russia is historic, and it is rising. If you found this video informative and valuable, please hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who want to understand what is actually happening in the world. And if you're not subscribed yet, now is the time. We cover these developments consistently and in depth, and there is a lot more coming. Hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and we will see you in the next one.